Board. Board games, it's what we're talking about. Board games, we're not gonna shout. Board games, we're talking about it this morning. Board games, and I'm starting with some singing. Board games, we've got Tobenna. Board games, from Nigeria. Tobenna teaches some games because we like board games. Hello, Tobenna. And KC, of course. Sorry.
Hi.
Hi.
I mean, not to take away from KC, so we've got some amazing people, and we've got Jessica Jane Sankey, who's excited to see you again. And
hi.
I'm excited to see KC again, who's done so much in Nigeria, making a publishing firm, making a board game cafe, making a convention, but with a lot of help. You know, there's so many people helping you, and one of those people who's helping you is Tobenna. So in like just as many words as you would like, can you share a little bit about yourself, Tobenna, because now it's your moment to be in the spotlight.
Oh, okay. I'm Tobenna, like you've said. I work with KC. I've actually been a gamer from childhood. My dad was also a board gamer. He bought us the conventional games, Monopoly, chess, Scrabble, Snakes and Ladders. So I played those growing up and video games, but the board games, KC made my love for board game now transcends every other game. So I do poetry and I also do board game poetry.
That's awesome. I'm
a board game.
Sorry about this. There is a little bit of a delay, so I kind of sometimes, if people think I'm being really rude and talking over you, it's just because there's I think you stopped and then it's a bit of a delay. Because it's still amazing that we are still both in the same time zone, but you're like 1/4 of the way across the world. I don't know, 6,000 miles, and so to even speak to you. Alan Outson says, "Morning, everyone." And Jess says, "Lovely to see KC and Tobenna. And Bez is all right." Anyway, as to move forwards, I am Bez. This is approximately breakfast time, and well, it's starting now. Bezzy Breakfast Board Game Bledder. We are blethering about board games, and it is NIBCARD Games Cafe is the name of the games cafe where Tobenna has done a lot of work. And if you do enjoy this, then please do feel free to comment. Let us know. Feel free to ask any questions. As long as they are all respectful, we will try to answer any questions that you have about the community that's being set up in Abuja, and about you know, the fact that yes, currently this is Nigeria's only board games cafe, but that's not a good thing. Hopefully there will be more. And yes, so that's the schedule, and today we are learning about NIBCARD with KC and Tobenna, and there's a whole bunch of links that you can check out if you wish. First of all, we've got to ask brilliant things. Here's a little thing that is brilliant. Tobenna, what's a brilliant thing?
So a brilliant thing to me is the sun waiting for the rain to hit the roof and the smell of clay it produces.
Giving us heat, giving us life, giving us nourishment, photosynthesis, turning that light energy into food. The sun.
Yeah.
Alan Out just says they can never see Alan Outson's comments. If you want to check them out, then it's actually on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/stuffbybez. I will send that link over. So the sun is a brilliant thing. Now, games. What have we been playing? What are their names? I have been playing a little bit of Corridor on Board Game Arena, which is a lovely website where you can play games online. And I actually finished a game of stuff on Board Game Arena. And you go to this website, it is for free. You can play a whole bunch of things. And Pilos, I enjoyed that. Can't Stop, I played that. And Corridor, I played that. And that was all yesterday. I also did a good bit of playtesting. Playtested my own drawing game. Playtested a game by Andrew January where you are a kaiju, a big monster stomping around and trying to destroy things. And we also played a game by Ellie Dix, which has a sieve mechanism. By sieve mechanism, that's... So what have you two been playing?
New game, Village War.
But don't say too much.
So we have been playtesting the Village War game, dotting our I's and crossing our T's.
So, okay. The full artwork of Village War gaming earlier this week, and then we also had production of because we make games in smaller quantities, so we had a production of about 60 games. So the house was kind of full. 5 young people who have been making games with us since 2016. So they made those games, and then we designed the village. So we are trying to fix. We are definitely sending it to you. It's just amazing. Yeah, it is amazing.
And yeah, you've got so many games coming out, and this is actually on Tobenna's most recent picture.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that, I mean, there's an argument that there's, I don't know, like, this is a difficult question, but are there too many board games that are about war and conflict? I mean, it's difficult to make games about peace because the conflict is what kind of makes it interesting. You know, if you win, then you have won the conflict. But are there too many games about war, do you think?
About war.
For us, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean by the question. I don't know if the question is for me or for Tobe. Please call names.
Yeah, that's really
okay. But personally, most of the games that we have seen, especially the ones we have in the cafe here, are Euro games. So they are mostly like watching another movie. So they are always like Vikings ahead, Game of Thrones. They are a lot, exactly. But what I think the way we see it is, okay, this happened in another. There are war games, but we don't have access to war games about maybe war in Africa or in an African country. Exactly, it's more of Euro war. So it's like playing video game again. So people like that action, really, because they don't understand the history or what. They don't really put that emotion. It's more of the mechanics and the graphics. So, from my point of view.
I mean, definitely there's a lot of, I guess, Eurocentric games about wars. I mean, there's the game called Campaign for North Africa, which is almost infamous because I don't know if you know, Campaign for North Africa is a game that takes literally about 1 month to play.
Sheldon.
Yes, Sheldon.
Sheldon played on its big bad chair with Bernadette when she was
pregnant.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly. And you know, from a more normal kind of war games, there's war games about Napoleonic War, and there's war games about you know, because I'm just thinking about this because we've had Alan Paul that I was talking to earlier this week, who looking at wars not just clearly not as a point of view that it's good, but from the point of view that, okay, this can teach us something about history. So yeah, it's a fair point that you make, that there's no war games from, I guess, the certainly not the Southern African perspective, because I guess in North Africa, when you get to Tunisia, it is going to be, they're just neighbors of Europe anyway.
Yeah.
I guess that's a topic that we could talk about for you know, an entire hour.
To be honest, it's like from the history part, it's something that I find very, very interesting. We actually both find very interesting when we talk about it. Like our current game that we're working on, Village War, it's an opportunity for people history about the Igbo culture, right? It's people get to learn about the Igbo cultures. So there are masquerades in the game. I've never seen a game that has no masquerades. There are 5 masquerades, and they have their, you know, ranks and war. These are powers that we know, and then they are the tributes. Those tributes are things that reflect the Igbo community. So the whole concept of war, it doesn't tell you the exact, it doesn't give you the exact experience, right?
Yeah.
But it makes you curious. You want to go
to know more. You want to research more.
Exactly.
Know more about the history, the might, the legend.
About it. And then it's even a sequel. It's a sequel of 5 different games. And the one we just, this is
the first one.
The first one. So, and we already have the prototype of 5. You know, each time we keep playing, we've been working on this game for over a year. We'll keep discussing it and keep, you know, sharing the stories and keep researching about our culture. And we keep learning a lot of things that even we didn't find out how we existed and all. So those are things that I feel that war games now bring out. And then there's another prototype we're working 10 hours
before the war.
So that is about showing the experience of a civilian during the war. So it's not about you as a player being the
soldier or commander. So it is about the experience of the civilians, going to get food, getting for the children, safeguarding your family, and the whole strife along the way.
And the story, the whole concept of the game came out from our grand uncle. They were talking about the Biafra War. It's a war, the Nigerian Civil War, where over 2 million women and children died, mostly out of the hunger. It's called we like to call it genocide because it was really that huge. So they were sharing their stories of how they were going to buy food. It was a matter of life and death, and they go through forest. And as they are going, they stand in a straight line, in a straight path, and one person will be holding another person behind. So that's how
the next person.
Because if you miss that line, you could get lost forever, or you could go in enter into enemy combatants, and it was risky because they go only in the night. So within 8 to 10 hours, that is when they will have to go and come back. And it's a very, very long journey. Like it's a journey, a very long journey that if they don't reach their destination, they have to hide themselves during the day, and then in the night they continue. So we now say, okay, let's bring that feeling on board. So as they play, as you're, you know, that constant fear of facing animals in the jungle, or stepping on the mine,
or running into
soldiers, you know, we wanted to bring it out. So I feel games could also do that, and
games tell stories.
Oh yes, absolutely. And I know that Ignacy Shevchenko, you of Portal Games actually has almost their tagline, board games that tell stories. We've got a couple of questions about Village War. I was looking for it on Board Game Geek. You don't seem to have put it up quite yet, but Alan Outson says, great image. Who is the figure and who is the artist?
Okay, let me clarify. We don't really think that is white. If we share the whole picture, you see all it's more of the tone color of brown shades and all. And the artist, this was an extra artwork that the artist did, and this is why we've been sharing just this one. And the artist is amazing. He's called Felix Eleyi. This is his second work. We've not published any of our work, and he's currently working on the third one. So so far, we've been working with him has kind of brought a lot of professionalism in the way we want to interpret our work, but we've not published any of the works yet, and we've not shared pictures apart from this, because this is an extra artwork that he did because he loved the work.
Yeah.
We've not because of the whole concept of the whole thing, the whole board game community in Nigeria is totally new. Even for him, it's new. So he comes to the cafe, he wants to go through other artwork to see what is already in the community, and then how he can use his own context and our reality to make our work better. And but once we start, we're actually planning a Kickstarter. Once we start, we'll talk more about the artist. We're planning videos and then videos of when he was doing the work, because those are things we want people to see once we start the publicity, so everything comes out at the same time. But I also mentioned him a couple of times, even last year when he did the first samples, and I think some people have started following him. We'll quickly look for his Instagram handle and share with you now. Okay, so yes, that's what Village War is about. Yeah.
And so those are games we've been playing. It sounds like there's been a lot of developmental work going on with Village War, and even though it's, obviously there are so many games talking about this topic before, not from a Nigerian viewpoints, of course. So it's really great that you are bringing voices in. Now let's move on to daily highlights. Daily highlights. Hearing things and seeing the sights. Daily highlights. Let's talk about a couple of things that we have just enjoyed. Keeping it light. One thing that I enjoyed yesterday, I would say, is just getting together with LA, with Chris, with Andrew January, and we were all via the internet playtesting together. This is something that I always enjoy. I always enjoy playtesting on a Friday. And if anyone wants to join us, you need the internet connection. You need to be able to do the video, because we do roll and writes, we do party style games, and yeah, that's open invite. So that was my daily highlights yesterday. How about you two? Starting with Tobenna, what was your daily highlights yesterday?
Okay, daily highlight was it came late because that was when we started playtesting the game. I'm really excited about the game. So whenever I start playtesting, my face just lights up. The whole conversations, and then yeah, I like food and I cook a lot. So spaghetti and chicken. So yeah, it's part of my daily
By
highlight.
11 p.m. last night, I will never do it. I will never do it.
Yeah, the stomach ones was the stomach ones.
And what? So yeah, enjoying food, it's always a good thing to do. How about you, KC? What have you been enjoying recently?
Sorry, it's just because this week the excitement was around Village World. So sorry. So
No,
this,
that's fair. And this is the artist, young master Phyllis, and
yeah.
it makes sense. You've got this amazing artwork, and if I go back through the thing, you know, the artist has really outdone themselves, and it feels like an advancement not just for NIBCARD but also for the artist, and hopefully they will continue to grow and advance.
That's also what we are looking forward to. Like he actually brought in just like you said, he interprets what we want to share with the world very, very clearly. I just sent you. So he interprets the work, and just so when we did all of the cutting, and so that's what we've been playing for the past. Apart from something else happened this week that's actually very interesting for us. So our meeples finally came in.
Yeah.
Exactly. So and which is also very important for us. So check Tobenna's wall. You will see he posted, he shared some pictures about the meeples that came in. You can go back to his page and I'll show you. So when the meeples came in was on Monday. Exactly, Hot Alive. No, the up one. Yeah, the second picture. Yeah, the second one. Scroll. So this came in and it was really crazy. And then in addition, we also got porn. And this also means that now we can put them in our games. And when especially Nigerians buy them, they are seeing new components in the game. So it's really exciting. This was the highlight of the week. But Village World came in and just swallowed it as well. So we almost forgot about it.
Yeah.
And you were telling me earlier that obviously we talked a couple of weeks ago about how there were very few board games in Nigeria, maybe even 3 years ago, frankly, and no one had ever seen a meatball before, really.
It's very rare. Very, very, very rare. Unless they have a cousin who lives abroad and sent a game. I know the first time I saw one, that was 2016. It was crazy. And we know because people come into the cafe and they don't even know what.
Yeah, and the average Nigerian thinks the die is just six-sided, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. There are so many other die in the world.
Well, to be fair, I mean, that's not very different from how it is in the West, where, yes, there are people who adore board games and they know that you can get all these different sizes of dice. Dice can have 4 sides or 20 sides or 10 sides. But there are also most people who are unfamiliar with board games, who are just familiar with the 6-sided die, who don't know what a meeple is. And I guess the difference is that in Nigeria, maybe even if you are an enthusiast, everyone's kind of learning together because there is no sort of really burgeoning board game. There's no accessibility. You don't have this opportunity, I guess, is the key difference, my understanding.
Very, very true. I think it's a gradual process. It's working. Just like you said, it's something that we'll have to all grow together. So, and that reinforces what we do, like having conversations, talking, posting everywhere, so that people all grow. And that's even one of the reasons why we try to push other designers to make their prototype at least. At least that problem is something we know we can solve. So if you have a game idea, we can direct you to an illustrator that we've worked with in the past. So we've worked with about 6 different illustrators across Nigeria. So they understand, okay, at least they understand the level of how we lay cards and all of those stuff, and it's a plus. So And that's actually one of the highlights as well. This week has been a lot of highlights. But
no, that's a great thing. You don't need to apologize.
Not so good and very, very good. So the second client we make games for wrote Interstate. He wrote a long, he said a lot of good things about what we did. And I remember initially there were a lot of doubts. Same with our first client, there were a lot of doubts as well. Can we not do this thing? And they couldn't do it elsewhere, but I'm sure they tried. But when they see it, that prototype now, they could on their own preach board game. We don't need to, because they want people to play games, and they want people to, okay, you can even design it. And now that they know it, they can make it doable. They can design more games, and they can preach it elsewhere.
So more designers, more games, more indigenous games.
Exactly.
Oh, that's really good aspiration. And I wish you all the best with continuing to spread it across your parts of the world. Now we've got some quick questionable questions for both of you, and we will start with Tobenna. Firstly, Tobenna, did you have breakfast?
No, I just had smoothies.
Okay. I mean, I feel like a smoothie counts as breakfast, so you kind of get an electric blender, you put watermelon in. Okay. I mean, okay. KC, did you have breakfast?
Same smoothie.
Okay.
It's not breakfast for us.
What did you have for dinner last night?
You said? Spaghetti and chicken.
Okay. Iced coffee or hot tea, Tobenna?
Hot coffee.
Hot coffee. Oh, going wild. Okay. KC?
None. Water,
Okay,
water or drink.
Tobenna, apart from KC, who obviously you are sitting with right now, who is the last person you spoke to in person?
My neighbor, Keith.
Keith? And do you live with anyone? What's your living situation like? Are you still isolated because of the pandemic?
Yeah, we are still isolated. We have been isolating together. Like, we have been living together.
Well, I'm not sure the lockdown is still there, but you still move around you can buy stuff, but people don't come into the cafe to play games.
And you don't invite people to each other's houses.
So, both.
Okay. What is the very last game you played, Tobenna? Was it Village War?
Yes, actually. But before that, Giddy Wits. Was it? Yeah.
With Ife?
Yes, so it was Giddy Wits.
Giddy Wits?
Yeah, is it charades?
It's a Nigerian charade.
Nigerian charades game. I see it.
Let me make this bigger.
And it's
okay.
Let me bring up.
I don't know this one.
So the word on the top is the giddy word. These are the forbidden words.
Oh,
you don't see to explain this.
This is a popular guy.
Okay.
Can't.
So this is Wizkid. You don't have to use artists, Ojuelegba, singer, or his managers, any of these names to describe him.
Wizkid. I would probably go by. Name for a very young person. Name for a child. And then before that, it's someone who's being very fast.
Okay, but why it's Nigerian themed is that Whiskey is actually a name of a musician in Nigeria.
He's a musician in Nigeria.
One of the top 3.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the top.
Okay.
So exactly. So it's Nigeria theme. All of the words are only Nigerians
Nigerians can relate to mostly.
Yeah, I see that. I don't know. Do you know the game Taboo?
Yes.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's basically
Like
you made a Nigerian version of Taboo and you've localized it.
Yes, but we are not the ones. It's done by Giddy Words, Jenny Games. There's also
Tetsudo.
You know you're African. Let me get it.
Also, now
So also have.
Since NIBCARD started, you have inspired other Nigerians to start making games also.
Some directly there, but some we just found out that they have also made their own games, and we say, okay, and that's amazing. Why not bring the cafe and we sell. If you notice this on it. So I had a conversation with Hilko, and he was talking about some a project currently going on in India. How a publishing company wants to bring out Indian games that are specific for a particular group of people, but try to introduce it to Europe and America as well. So those are things we are looking at for this. Though they are mostly Nigerians that can understand it, including this one, but we also want other people to start seeing it. But we are looking at how the intricacies, how do we convince
it feels like if you are bringing it to another nationality, you would have to explain all these things. You would have to explain that the WizKid is this musician, and he just would not have that cultural awareness or understanding.
Yes.
And I think that's something that it can really inform and make the games varied. But getting back to the quick questionable questions, because it's meant to be quick. Books or podcasts, Tobenna?
Books.
Okay, what's the last book that you read?
1001 Writing Ideas.
And when you play games, do you have a favorite color?
No, I don't, but he has.
What's your favorite color, KC?
Magenta, but some people think it's pink, but it's magenta.
Have you heard that song, Magenta, by the musical artist?
Yeah, well, she's...
Anyway, cards or cubes, Tobenna? Do you prefer cards or little cubes?
Sorry, can you repeat? We
didn't hear.
So a card or a cube? I don't actually... yeah, here's a bag of cubes. So cards or cubes?
Cards.
Cards. Okay. Wooden maple, as you showed earlier on, or plastic figurine?
Maples. Plastic figurine.
Are you not sure?
Figurines. I like figurines.
Okay. Do you prefer and what's your favorite, one of your favorite board games?
Hot Alive a lot. Yeah, it's a life strategy game, but the game can just go sideways for you in a blink of an eye. And Azu. Was supposed to be one. Sorry.
And we've got lots of love for Magenta in the comments. Jess says, pink taxis are the reason that Jess moved to Thailand. Do you have pink magenta taxis in Nigeria? If so, Jess might move over.
We might start one.
We might start one for you.
Barnabas is that he knows. Barnabas is also frequently he on game around, so he knows we've had that issue about magenta. You are invited.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. And a quick hello to the new people that have joined us. Hello, Will Cook. It's lovely to see you. I think we already talked about the watermelon smoothie enough. Although maybe we want a full breakdown of the ingredients.
Oh, watermelon, banana, and pineapple.
Oh, that does sound pretty darn good. Hello, Barnabas. It's lovely to see you. And finally, Will Cook asks, could they get a Nigerian song from you?
Which one? Do I know anyone now?
Of course, you've been talking about your board game poetry and how you do quick 4 lines of. Could you share some of your board game poetry, Tobenna?
So I will not lie. The writing just comes to me and I write it down, and I might just forget it unless I bring the book.
Okay, is the book far away right now?
Yeah.
Oh, darn.
So I don't usually memorize it. I'm practicing for a spoken word poetry. So
I'm looking for music. Okay.
I was hoping that we could have some poetry recitals. Alan, so we've got someone saying Guard's the only one who doesn't like meatballs. Jessing, oh, presumably there's lots of fresh tropical fruits over there, like avocado, coconuts, things like that.
Coconut, yeah.
So are growing locally. Will Cook says that they lived in South Africa in 2003 and they kept meeting and being friends with Nigerians all the time and they wanted to go to Nigeria. But
you can come and feel. Have a feel.
After the pandemic, we could all start planning that.
Yeah, not now. After the pandemic. So, moving to the main topic, which is the NIBCARD Games Cafe. So this is something that KC, you Will Cook is on their way to you. And coming over, and you were part of it since the start, Tobenna. Can you actually talk about the formation of the NIBCARD Games Cafe and what was your role in this, Tobenna?
Okay, so I just finished the program that I did for 3 months, and then I went to Casey's house to see him.
What program is this?
Okay, I volunteered on an international citizen service, unskilled volunteering. So we had to go to a local community, help improve their quality of education, introduce 21st century teaching skills. So you can also, if you have a personal skill, you can also impact it in the community, which I did. A little bit of Microsoft Office, because the children don't have access to laptops and all those stuff. So we did a little bit of that. So back to KC. So I was the cameraman for shooting the video. So he wanted to do it, but I guess the fire wasn't there like that. So I introduced a little bit of fire, and I know this young man, he can do whatever he sets his mind to. So I was call me the video man. So we shot the video over and over and over until we thought, okay, it was a good video for a kickstart. So, and the Boardgame community helped. They funded the cafe. We are so grateful. We are still grateful because, and then we finally got a space, we put it in order, and then Bastard Games Cafe from Denmark. They sent us over 200 games, and that was the first time I saw so many board games in one room. All of them. I haven't seen so much board games before in my life. So And ever since then, the cafe it was a slow process, but we are getting there little by little. We now have a group that started their own game night on their own, and ours is Thursday game nights. So now have Thursday game nights, Friday game nights, and each time people come to the cafe is a good thing for us because they preach it to other people. They've not seen something like this before, and yeah, being the first board game cafe in Nigeria, we are hoping more will come. So the whole intricacies, the whole people getting to know other people's game, people getting to see European games they would have never played before. So
I think that there are things you missed in the setting up. You know,
okay.
If you remember now, there are a lot of small details that we are trying big details. So you missed.
Can you just remember?
So there's. I remember when Tobenna when Tobenna finished and came around, and I remember I would just wake up before I go to work. I would say we need a place where people can come together to play this game. So I was going to work every day, and my days of carrying games there, I couldn't do it with work. So so he said, why not let's shoot a video. So we had the camera there. And remember, we'll go under the sun on the street and people were looking at us.
I forgot. I usually carried games to park then. And it was always a Friday something. We go to the park because you meet more people at the park on Fridays. All these games, though then we had.
I think it's more of how Tobenna really pushed. He really pushed. Like I know how many footage we shot before we did that video of that introduction. Hi, my name is KC. It became a cliche in the house then because we had to keep repeating it and before we got that video. And then this next major hurdle was making games and shipping it to people. That was very you remember now, right? Because we had to fulfill all the and then what happened was initially we made a deal with DHL, and after the Kickstarter, that was almost 90% extra of shipping rate. Oh my, that was it was crazy at that period. But Tobenna, Obinna, Anita, she's the lady in the video now. They were all and Barnabas, they were all supportive for us to be able to clear. Then later on, Precious now came in when we were already setting up the cafe, and that was another hurdle. Finding because now the budget was already tampered with, being able that we had to ship the game, so the budget was tampered with. So we had to start looking for money again to make up, and then getting a place.
It got a place at the nick of time. Like
it was
at
crazy.
The nick of time.
And it was Tobenna because I used to go to work, so I'll keep calling Tobenna. How far have you checked the place? Have you checked it? So he will check the I can't leave the office. Okay, Tobenna will say I called the agent. Okay, and it was crazy. All the places were not just. This was we didn't even plan to get this place. We were already almost paying for another place,
and then we said, let's just check out somewhere else. This place we want to check out, and that was how we got this place.
And it's just, and we loved it. We're actually very lucky. Everyone could keep saying, how did we were able to afford this place? We don't know. It's very expensive, but it's not as expensive as it's supposed to be. It was setting up the cafe was a whole challenge in its own.
I mean, it sounds like you went through a lot of trials for sure, and had a lot of fun doing it. And well done for bringing all these new things to other people. Will Cook says that's a stereotype about Nigerians, that Will Cook's Nigerians friends told him is that Nigerians like new things more than anything old. And some people in the West call this the cult of the new. And in board games, it might be a big thing where you're always wanting to play the new games, even if you've not even played the old games, or you bought the old games and then you've not even finished playing them. You've maybe even, and so then you still want it. Firstly, do you think this is true in your opinion?
You want to go for?
Playing board games. Okay.
Do you think that people want always trying new things?
Yeah, the data I have from people coming to the cafe, they just want to stick to games they know they are comfortable with. We are the ones that usually push, like, try out this game. You might end up liking it. And they always end up liking it. It's in a rare case, like, nah, I'll just stick to what I know. But they always have fun trying out new things. And we are the one that usually push. But yeah, most people like new things and they have not even tried the old ones yet.
And I think it's true. It's very, very true. So it's two ways. So on the global community, I keep seeing posts about how I have 500 games. I've only played 100, and I know I'm going to spend 1,000 on Kickstarter buying new. I see all of those stuff, but here it's like it's just those 8 classic games.
Yes.
Like this week, how many calls have you received?
Monopoly.
I've received a lot of calls asking, "Do you sell Monopoly? Do you sell chess?"
Chess.
But we say no, we have other games. We try to push people, and then just like you said, people come for game night and they want to play Monopoly. First, it starts with Monopoly chess. So when they eventually play one new game,
they will now want to be playing that one new game.
So it's another job trying to also get them to play
other games.
Another game. So that's just it's that way. Well,
so it sounds like actually, in a sense, people don't want to be constantly chasing the new things in Nigeria, and I know that. In Board Games Cafe in the UK, I know that I used to work just for maybe 1 month. I worked in a cafe called Drafts. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's in London, and I worked there partially for a little bit of pocket money, partially to kind of try it out, to learn, to also promote my own games a little bit and see everything. And in Drafts, people come over for the games that we know here. They come for party games like Articulate and Monopoly and Risk and Cluedo. I don't think Risk and Cluedo are so popular there. I don't think they're so freely available. But these are games that here people will have played for many years. And in the same way that Monopoly, I think we can all agree, is not the best game available. There's a lot of games that are a bit faster, that are a bit more interesting decisions, they get more to the action. And in the same way, Risk and Cluedo, there's great things about Risk and Cluedo, and don't get me wrong, they're wonderful, same as Trivial Pursuit. It's a lovely game, but games have moved on in the past 50 years. I mean, they've moved on in the past 20 years, let alone the past 50 years. I mean, why should... Yes, we can enjoy films from 50 years ago, but that is a rarity. We don't just say, okay, all the films from 50 years ago are great. So why should it be the case that people are playing all these board games from so long ago, and the board games that basically uphold these old values, and they don't, have the new stuff?
True, but just to balance it as well, because I won't lie, we are consuming country.
Yeah,
we're a consuming country. We buy a lot of, like, the latest iPhone comes out. I'm telling you that a lot of people throw their way, look for money, even when they don't have jobs, to buy the latest.
How to use it,
and they don't know how to use it. Everybody wants new stuff, new clothes, new all of this stuff. And I think for the game, and which also saw a problem that we know we want to solve, is about people tend to calculate accessibility and then how they can be able to play it with people. So they don't want to come and know that, okay, I know I can't easily get this game, so I want to prefer games that I know people know how to play. I don't have to teach those people to play the game, and I know that it's very cheap for me to buy if I eventually want to buy them. So those are all the things that go through people when they come, because we'll have conversations with people. So for instance, or when they don't understand the theme of the game, they don't even want to understand the mechanics. So just because of the story, they feel like it's too much work, but they don't want to try the mechanics. They're just scared. And it's about accessibility. If these games were in the supermarket, they are seeing adverts, they are seeing celebrities play them on the movie, I'm telling you, Nigerians will jump to it, because one.
Whoops. I'm getting a little bit of a connection loss. I don't know if anyone else is hearing KC and Tobenna. Let me know if you've got any problems.
Something becomes a pop-up.
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, we take it to a next.
Oh no, wait.
Okay, it's back.
Oh, you're back now.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, we had a bit of problems, but we can hear you again. Hooray!
Sorry about
no
that.
worries. So, yeah, but I mean, I think you're absolutely right. Wherever you are in the world, you don't want to have to spend a lot of time teaching something new. I think that, or learning something new. I think Mark Rosewater, head designer of Magic the Gathering, calls this in communications theory, which, you know, it's not from them, but they've just made me aware of it. Comfort, surprise, and completion. So you, at the start, you want to have something that is a little bit comfortable. It shouldn't be too different to what you already see. And then, but you want the surprise. And maybe if you're buying the new iPhone, in a way, that's a very comforting thing, and you feel that's completion. And so we had a couple of questions, which, firstly, do you think that this cult of the new has an effect on your board game cafe? What effect do you think Nigerian culture has on the board game cafe? And what big differences would you say between the NIBCARD game cafe and drafts? What are the...
Okay, for the cult of the new, try out like we'll cook for board game sales. The cafe itself is the new thing and the gaming culture. So when people hear about a board game cafe, most times they don't want to play game. They just want to come and see. Like, what is this place? You have only board games, and I'll be like, ask, do you have video games? I'll be like, it's just board games. So maybe that day, the day they come is not the day they will play. They will go tell their friends, and you see them trooping in. Let's go. There is this place we heard about. It's all about board games. Let's just go and check it out. They have party, and most times it's party games they want to play there. So now we have to look at the crowd and assess them to know, okay, is this crowd calm-headed? Can I teach them a new game? Will they be able to just sit down and learn, or do they just want to have fun? And if you want to have fun, I'll just go with party games so I don't waste their time.
And that's one of the huge cultures we want to break. Social party games are very, very good. I play them as well, but you know, at some point we have to ask people to start going, because they are shouting, and that's like 12 midnight. And people are still playing, and they want to play from there. Go to shouting. So they are shouting and screaming, and then because people tend to love social games so much, it's usually hard to kind of have that paradigm shift to 4-player game where you can strategize and you want to come back tomorrow because you've thought of a new strategy you want to use to win the game. Because it's the social. I think because people want all of this opinion and information are based on the demographics that are coming in, and there are people between 20 to say 35. Want to be 10 around the table or 12 around the table. They don't want to divide because they want to glitz among themselves. And games that can do that are mostly social games, and they are easy to teach and all. But we're also trying to target, part of the work we are doing is going to schools, starting young, because in schools there are chess clubs, there are parents are buying Monopoly, and these are games that take long. And most friends, it's usually difficult to see a child or a teenager in a group of 12. They are usually smaller groups. So we are looking at starting from there so that when they grow, it's easier for them to, want to play a 4-player game or a 5-player game or even a 2-player game, not necessarily game that has to be able to play by 12 people.
And yeah, Alan Outson says the same thing. Whoops. That presumably things that are good for a cafe are the ones that are quick to learn, quick to teach, and then you get them playing. How many groups do you normally have at a time? I mean, not now, but let's say how many would you have expected right now if there weren't a pandemic happening? How many tables of people?
Okay, so people normally come in group of 2s, 3s, 4s, 5. So most times when they come, they are first playing, like they first play their games with the people they came with to get comfy. Then maybe one table might start shouting, maybe the game was, hey, and they will be like, what game are those guys playing? Can we join them? So you see, when they came divided, after a couple of hours, you see everybody's crowded together, playing one game, shouting, screaming. So usually, like, say 8 different groups of people, but not the same number in a group. So,
and Will Cook says,
that is actually but very, very true. And we've actually argued about this before, like intensely. Like, I'm for like break these people up, break them up. And like, I don't have control. I said, well, let's control. Let's find control. And we'll try. Once groups join together, then sometimes they have to join the table. But initially, they said, well, and for me, I see that it has two sides. There are people that are introverts. They don't want to, they came in their but now they are forced to join a bigger table because these guys are playing party game and they are screaming. And it's difficult for us because, what we do, there's this overarching reality in Nigeria. It's difficult, not just for us, for everybody. So people during the day, it's rare for people to just walk in. People are trying to find ends meet or trying to work out, mostly looking for jobs.
Yes.
So it's usually in the evening. So all these people come at the same time. So you can't say, okay, if I want to play, it's quiet, let me come during the day or in the morning. It's rare for that to happen. So when they all coming together, that personality crashes happens, and I think like someone like me, if it could happen to me, I think it could happen to another person. Sometimes I will feel like, oh, I don't want to come here because I'll be forced to join a group of 20 people, more than half of which I've never met before, just because they've taken over the cafe, with noise and all, and they'll have to not come the next time. So we are trying to find way of making one of the things we are talking about, that 10 by 10.
Yes, 10 by 10 challenge,
where people will play
other games. So we are trying to start by 5 by 5. 5 games you've played 5 times, so that it's not whenever you come, it's just one party games. So we are trying. The incentive is maybe you have free entry to the cafe, customized T-shirts, mugs, and stuff.
Once you have finished this 5 by 5 challenge, you will get now all these gifts.
Yes.
That's what we are.
Yeah, that's what we are looking at.
I think this is very interesting because I think credits where credits is due. I think the 10 by 10 challenge was developed by an American person called Sarah Reed, and then they wanted to diversify what they were playing. And so then they said, hey, I'm going to try this 10 by 10 challenge to make sure I play these games at least 10 times. And Sarah Reed, who is actually a board game designer, I'm looking around for there's a book that I'm part of, and then now other people have done their own things, whether it's 5 by 5, playing 5 games 5 times each, or playing 100 games 1 time each. People are like, hey, this is a thing that I want to do. And of course it should be all about fun, because if you're playing games, it's all about fun and having a good time. But sometimes you need to organize your fun. For example, I'm having a really good time chatting to you. I mean, it's really nice that everyone in the audience is having a good time and are excited to hear you. And it's lovely to have you with us. I mean, Will Cook, Jess, Alan, like, I love you all on a very personal basis. And there was a couple of people that I don't know. Barnabas, I don't know you, but I'm sure you're a wonderful person. And it's lovely kind of having you all around. But at the same time, I am doing this partially because I'm having a good time myself. It's making me get out of bed, even though this morning maybe I didn't do my exercise. I slept in a little bit. But it means that saying, okay, we're going to organize this thing, we're going to get together, okay, we're going to get together to play this game tomorrow, we're going to organize, and organization, for me at least, can lead to more fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was my 10 by 10 thing. It's reached 11 o'clock. We're going to start winding down a little bit slowly. So if you've got any questions, please get them in now. KC sent me this picture. I assume this is Village War.
Yes. And probably this is the only picture that will be on internet for now.
Ooh, so this is exclusive content. So this is Village War. When is this coming?
We are not sure yet, but hopefully October, November.
Yeah.
That's what we are looking at, hopefully.
Awesome. And we've got a couple of questions. First, Will Cook was talking about Nigerian food, and Jess JS85 says, can you tell us about Nigerian food?
Well, Nigerian food is delish, like very delicious. I'm not bragging, it is. And spicy, yeah, if you like spices too. It's spicy, but we can always tweak it to fit your palate. So we have the jollof rice, the Nigerian jollof that is making wave everywhere. You must have heard of it, I don't know. There is the soup. We have a lot of soups.
Yes.
We have a lot of soup. I've not tried all yet. I'm still working towards that. I want to try. Each tribe have their own specific soup.
Like how many? Just
like 5 to 6.
One tribe. How many tribes do we have?
Oh my God.
So we have more than 200 tribes. And each of them
each tribe have their own soup that is indigenous to them. So I've been trying out a lot, though.
What tribe?
I'm from the East, the Igbo. The Igbo, we are both from the East, we are Igbos. So we are from the eastern part of Nigeria. And we are from the same states in the eastern part of Nigeria. And our main soup is the Onugbu soup. It's called the bitter leaf soup. Onugbu is, how like it? I don't know how to describe it in English.
Bitter.
It's bitter, yeah. Oh.
Now you're making me hungry.
Now you're making us hungry. This is afang soup.
You know, Bez actually prepared food when we played in his house. Wow. I swear.
Just so people know, I prefer the pronoun she or they. So actually, you know, my housemates, although they are mixed race, they are half Nigerian and from Lagos. Jess says Nigerian food looks and sounds amazing, and I think they're from the Bbbb tribe in Lagos. I'm not sure.
Yoruba. Yeah, Yoruba.
But anyway, we have, it feels like we've just barely touched on everything. I mean, I feel like, you know, KC, you came to drafts, you saw a little bit of the difference. We could talk about the cultural differences. We've barely touched upon that, and I appreciate you're coming from a place where you had a holiday here funded by South Bank Centre, thanks to the government's arts grant. That
now play.
Pardon? Yes.
Yeah,
now played this was the festival at South Bank Centre. South Bank Centre is the venue. And Now Played This is the organization, previously by Holly Gramazio, who stepped down from the founder.
And it was really beautiful. I met Chris Wallis as well. It was really a good trip, and I will never forget it. That particular trip has already created a lot of effect in Nigeria gaming industry, and it's one opportunity that I cannot not talk about, even up to today. The whole the whole meeting. I visited Snake and Ladder, Cakes and Ladder. It's a cafe in a bus. Like there's a cafe inside a bus, you know, those kind of stuff, and then meeting you and playing with your group. It was all of those stuff are things that have, you know, led to a yes, exactly. And I was like, whoa, all of these have led to changes in the cafe, setting up the cafe, and some of the approaches we've, you know, used to working with people as well.
So this is just so people know, the bus doesn't actually drive anywhere. The bus has but it is really cool. Obviously, right now it's not in full swing, but it's a really nice place. About 20 minutes cycle that way, North London.
From here is about
how many
years
cycle?
Yeah, that is true.
Nice.
It is a great bossiness idea. And yeah, it's been lovely meeting you, Tobenna. Thank you for coming along. And
excited to be here too. It's been a lovely show. It's been a lovely show. As always.
And we've got to shout out to Cakes and Ladders from Will Cook. It is a great thing if you're ever in London. Obviously, one day I do hope to be able to travel to, you know, the Nigeria, and maybe I will check out Lagos. I think it's not, presumably you can get a bus or something from Lagos to Abuja.
Lagos.
You can, but you shouldn't.
You shouldn't. It's quite a long road trip, and the road.
It's not good.
It's not good.
Okay, so how?
It's about,
yeah.
So it's better you just fly. It's 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's better you just fly 45 minutes. Unless you want road experience.
Yes, unless you want to have a road experience, and you get that's a road difference.
How long does it take by bus, out of curiosity?
14 hours. Google will tell you 14
hours. Yeah.
That's what Google Map tells you, but the reality, there are a lot of things that could happen. Traffic, cars.
Oh yeah, this is where we get to the game of Safe Journey, where there could be animals,
exactly.
There could be bandits, and yeah, I mean,
a lot of points.
Exactly. So that's what happens.
So in reality, you could take 24 hours or more, I guess.
Waste a whole day on the road. Yeah.
It's not as bad as
scary, but
it's good that you have that information.
Yeah.
So it's not what Google Time tells you that you travel. That's not. We never use that.
And yeah, even though obviously this is a very simplified thing because it's just for a game, it's nice having this idea of what's going on. Anyway, it has been lovely chatting. I believe next, so as everyone knows, this is Jess. I would love to make this show 2 hours every day, but you know, let's just start off with 1 hour. If you have enjoyed it, then please do everyone comment, share, and follow. And if you go to the Twitch, that's twitch.tv/stuffbabez, then please follow me. If I get to 50 followers, then I can do more things. Currently, I think I'm on 21, and I need to get to more people watching at once, and then we will see what happens, and then maybe can at that point start having people on for longer, because I don't want to take too much of your time and myself. I know 2 hours every day is a lot. But if you have enjoyed this, then please check out KC and Tobenna's stuff, NIBCARDgames.com, twitter.com/NIBCARDgames, facebook.com/NIBCARD, instagram.com/NIBCARDgamesNG, and also instagram.com/TY_YankZ. which I think is what Tobenna was called at secondary school.
Yeah.
We've got myself, stuffbybez.com, twitter.com/stuffbybez, instagram.com/stuffbybez, twitch.tv/stuffbybez, and thank you for everyone watching there, and please do follow me, and facebook.com/thingsbybez, because Facebook doesn't let you have FMB next to each other, but you can still search for Stuff by Bez. But yeah, that's all my links, and you can email me. And the next stream is going to be tomorrow at 10 a.m. I am going. Where's my little thing? Oh, I lost it. Let's move on. Let's skip that and go back. Actually, quick recap. It's just been lovely. But what are we looking forward to, Tobenna?
I'm looking forward to having more people know about the cafe, about what we do, and not just knowing, but having a passion for it. It makes our work a lot more.
Yeah.
And KC, what's something that you are looking forward to?
Obviously, with what Tobenna said, and Village War. I'm looking forward to how people would accept it, because that's going to be very important for us. We've put in a lot of stuff, the energy, time, more than we've ever done for all our games combined. So, and we feel like it's going to tell a lot of stories about us, because when we are discussing it and we're discussing with people from our tribe, they understand it, and other people who are curious about it. So we're actually looking forward to how people accept it in the gaming community.
When I saw you, KC, I think I gave you one of the newer Wibble plus decks in the actual box, right?
Yeah. The box? Did you
No, not with the box.
No, not with the box. I think it's the cards.
The cards?
Yeah. So now I have a nicer version, which is in a proper box, so it's kind of a bit more solid.
Nice.
And what I did is for every game, I just wanted to show you. So for Wibble, like originally it was just on one card, but now like all the rules are like that. And for all the games, I have a little bit about, okay, this is how you play it, and here is like the credits and the facts and the history. And I just wanted to suggest that there's a growing trend towards designer notes, because sometimes in the rules of the game, especially for an international version that you might be making, it's not just about having the rules of the game, but also about putting it into context. And I wanted to humbly suggest, if you are able to, I understand, it costs money and everything, but have another sheet of paper in there that says, okay, this is what these things mean, and this is what this represents, just so that people who are less aware of what's going on in Nigeria develop this greater understanding. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. And thank you for actually bringing it up. Thank you so much. This particular stuff on Village World, that's why I keep making reference, because of the plenty stuff we put in. We have a glossary for it, where each name has an English meaning, and then each word that I use has an English meaning, and then we also have a story for each game, the origin. So we want to put people in. We're actually even making a soundtrack. So we want people to feel the context before actually playing the game,
so you understand it very well.
Very, very well. And I think it's actually a brilliant idea. And thank you for confirming it as well. And then all the credit of everyone that have been working on it, because I saw on Twitter conversations around putting more credit of people in game development. So those are things we're also looking at, because it's for me, there's a personal side, there's a personal gain. It's not just about doing what is right. I feel like if you do that, more people will take ownership of the game as well and preach, because the whole concept is let's make people play play modern games in Nigeria. So if your name is inside the game, you want to market it on the other side. So that's the aspect. I know it's kind of
it's our reality though.
Well, it's a bit tricky, but yes, it's good to have it. It's a good thing to do. But but people should be credited for their work. But for us, again, we need motivation for people. Everything, we have to motivate or incentivize people for them to talk about games. And we'll find
yes, and just saying that also what people did, and I will have a quick chat to you after this, and you know, not just saying, okay, this is a designer, this is a playtester, but saying this is the person who came up with this idea. These are people who gave a little bit more time and effort. Because I know that Alley Cat's Games, sorry Cesar, I love you, and they do a nice thing where they say, okay, for the playtesters, it's gold playtesters, silver playtesters, bronze playtesters. Okay, that's nice that they recognize some people did a bit more work than other people, but what does that actually mean? And if you say, okay, these are the playtesters who did at least this, I think that transparency can only be a good thing. And I would say that in the long term, I am looking forward to there being transparency, because John Brieger has put up this thread on Board Game Geek where we should have a database like the movie industry does, IMDb, or indeed video games do with Moby Games. Have somewhere where you can say, okay, these are all the people who worked on this, even if it's okay, this person did a little bit of production work, this person did marketing, literally anyone that has anything to do with the game. Why not? Because it's valuable to recognize everyone. And if it's like, okay, this person gave, I mean, Daniel Barker for the L deck, Daniel Barker gave me emotional support. And someone might say, okay, what does that even mean? And I would say, you know, frankly, without that emotional support, I would never have made the L game. And now there's, you know, probably going to be hundreds of games for this deck, which I'm very proud of. And it's because someone back when I was really struggling, they gave me feedback. They said, yes, this is a good thing. Please carry on. And just not like, oh, please. It's just, you should carry on. Like, this is worth doing. And having that someone to bounce the ideas off, the emotional support is super important. But I guess that ties into the daily hope / ambition, which is that, hopefully we will have recognition, whether it's even for the people who do a little bit less stuff within board games.
Yeah.
Do you have any daily hopes or ambitions to share?
Yes, I mean, personal. I'll share my personal.
Yeah, personal.
Is it really
personal or NIBCARD games?
Is it personal?
Either one. It's all good. This is your stance.
You don't want to get married? Not so fast. Okay, so for NIBCARD. It's always been about inspiring and supporting African designers and generally gaming in Africa. So that's for us. That's what we want to do. And add-ons are, you know, people in other parts of the world playing it, but we want that. So everything we do is about, you know, trying to push. So most times you see we'll try to push our product out. That's because we want to get resources to make people inside. Because if you go to people inside to buy, they will not until it's as cheap as possible. So, but our aspiration is that one day we'll have a lot of Nigerian games scattered all over Nigeria, all over African countries, and all over the world.
And you've got so lots of games out there. It's amazing what you've done. So well done on that. And what's about you, Tobenna? What are your hopes and ambitions right now?
Basically, our hopes and ambition are intertwined right now. So it's basically what he said, and we want to be better at every turn, production, design. So we are looking forward to getting better equipment and making the production process smoother, and so we can even more cafes, have more cafes, not just only this one. So we need more cafes scattered around to help things, to help speed things a lot. Yeah. The culture we are looking for in Nigeria and the rest of Africa.
It's been lovely for me. I guess my daily hope, if I have a hope for, today is to get out of the house and have a bit of exercise, because I'm going to be honest, there's been a couple of days that I've not done much exercise, but I'm going to definitely put on my trainers and go for a run. That's a very small personal hope just for today. Jess wants to move over, might not do it today.
Just a quick one, sorry. The people that play the Weibel, they love Grabel and Weibel more than the Fable and Frizzell. So we play Grabel more in the cafe because people just want to be active, you know. Let's grab so quick, so quick, so quick.
Oh. It's lovely to hear that you're enjoying that. I will send you the new rules to Fable, because thanks to Will Cook, it's actually been changed slightly. And I'm also going to say, Categorical, which is a team game. So I don't know if you know that one. For the same cards, you've got one group on one side of the table, one group on the other side of the table. You're shouting out things like animals, starting with one of the two cards as quickly as you can. And then you need to bring it to your side, like a tug of war. But I'm looking forward to having you on. We are going to have, I believe, next Saturday, we are having Calvin Wong, who's going to be talking about board gaming in Malaysia, which I'm really interested to hear about, because I've been to Malaysia very quickly, but I don't know much about, you know, board gaming. I never actually saw any board games over there, and I never knew of Calvin Wong back in the day. In 2 weeks' time, we're having NIBCARD on again, which I'm looking forward to, with Precious, I can't remember their surname. Precious Oana, and they have played so many games. They have done a lot of work in the Board Game Cafe, so probably we will be talking about their journey, as well as a little bit more about the Board Game Cafe and how people are enjoying lots of different games. And as for the stream, if you want to tune in the same time, 10 a.m. tomorrow, I will be reviewing Labyrinth, the card game, which is a nice little game from Ravensburger. On Monday, I'm going to be talking to a UK person called Amy Woolsey, and Amy is running a board game cafe, which is quite difficult to do right now, obviously. From the Dice Cup, we're going to be talking about how they're changing things. And I will be here every Tuesday, every 10 a.m. UK time. I've been doing it. This is the 51st show, which is, I think, a minor achievement. And I'm planning to keep doing it for at least until I can start going to physical conventions. So until I go to a physical convention, I'm planning to do this. Yeah, possibly actually. You know what? If I don't plan to go to any conventions this year, but there might be a time when I'm like, okay, I'm now actually traveling somewhere else. Like I'm traveling up to Glasgow, which...
But you can still do it there.
No, but what if I need to get the 9 a.m. bus? What if I need to be on the bus at 10 o'clock in the morning? I don't know if I can definitely always... So, but, you know, at least for the next couple of months, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm looking forward to doing it again. Please keep tuning in. And we're also on every Tuesday, every Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m. And every 8 to 10 p.m. we play board games. We might bring that back to 8 p.m. because that was because of Clapping for Carers, which is no longer a thing, and Boo for Boris, which I'm politically, I do not like a lot of what the current government has done, and it's good to express yourself in some ways, to say that, just bringing up the political banner. Where's the banner that says, okay, I had a little banner that says potential sad things. But yeah, to get political for literally about 1 minute, the current government is going against trans rights, which is obviously a problem. There's opening things, or a lot of people might argue, in England sooner than they should have been done. Nicola Sturgeon in Scotland has a far more restrained approach to it, which I basically approve of. And remember, it's down to every individual to do what they believe is correct. But just because the government tells you you can do something doesn't mean that it's okay to do. There's a lot of things that are not illegal, but that are perfectly allowed, but you should still not do them, I would say. And so just because the government says you can go to a cafe does not mean that you should definitely go to a cafe. It's still not, it's still for the individual to have some ownership of responsibility. Anyway, that's the end of my rant. And Jess says, yeah, love people, facial recognition. Jess is excited about Malaysia, and yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's I'm trying not to swear. It's a messed up situation. I am planning to come to BerlinCon if it happens. I will kind of decide what things are like in December. I'm going to decide basically after. That might be the first thing that I go to. So I will basically decide at the time what's happening. And yep, that's going to be a thing. Anyway, so for everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Alan Alton. Thank you, Will Cook. Thank you, Barnabas. Thank you, everyone for watching. Even if you didn't comment, it's still lovely to have you watching. And most of all, thank you to KC and Tobenna for giving us your time. And keep your ear out for Village War. Do check out all those links that are on the bottom. And for now, all we have left to do is to say bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is a bye-bye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye-bye.